Welcome to Module 3 of the Farmer's Market Success Kit, Visibility at the Market. Hello everyone, Nancy here. In this segment, we're going to talk about blending in, standing out, and making the most of your moment in the public eye. At any farmer's market, there are a lot of moving parts, stuff happening, and people hopefully everywhere. How are you going to stand out in a crowd like this? A well-organized market will have requirements, like all vendor tents must be the same color, usually white, and markets may require vendors to have a banner. This gives the market a polished look and, believe it or not, creates a comfortable shopping experience. But this doesn't mean everything else isn't important. This 10 by 10 space is your place of business for the next few hours. How it looks and feels on the inside is all about you and your product. What does your booth say about you? Before we get started, though, let's talk about some must-haves. Most farmers markets require vendors to provide their own tents, weights, tables, and, if you are a food vendor offering samples, a hand washing station. This is the kind of tent we recommend. You can easily find them on Amazon. We recommend this Euromax tent. It comes with 4 panels, which are great for shade, wind, a little rain, and even keeping some heat in when it's cold. It also comes with a bag with wheels, making it easier to transport. And it comes with weights. Make sure you have your weights for your tent. Tip 1. Set up as close to your neighbors as possible and make sure the booth on the other side of you does the same. This makes the row look full, because it is, and tip 2, be sure to make sure your line of tents is as straight as possible. This gives the market a comfortable look and feel. Humans like their rows neat. When vendors line up right next to each other and in a straight row, and all of you have your banners or a panel on the backside of your booth, you'll keep people from passing through your space. This keeps shoppers from bailing out halfway through the market and will keep your stuff and all the stuff behind your table safe from walking off, either from people passing through or people sneaking in the back when you're busy with the front side of your booth helping customers. Be safe, not sorry. Wait, what happens when a burst of wind comes and carries your tent into someone else's space and wrecks their inventory? You pay for it, or your insurance does. Do you have insurance? If you had weights, this more than likely would have been avoided. The Euromax tent we recommend comes with weights. At our market, one of our farmers hooked 4 tents together over his market space. The winds came up and lifted all 4 of his tents off the ground and into the road behind the market. What a mess this was. Having your tent hooked to another tent, your own or your neighbor's, is not enough weight to keep them from being blown away. Protect your business, your safety, and the businesses of those around you. Use your weights. And speaking of safety, a first aid kit is always something a vendor should have on hand. Tables. These folding tables are probably the type most used at farmers markets. They're not super heavy, they fold in half, and they have a built-in handle to help with transporting. We recommend getting 2. Even if you only have enough product to cover one table, having a second one is handy, and we'll talk about booth layout in a moment. There are a lot of ways to put up a hand washing station. They can be all plastic, nothing much to look at, or they can be something cool made of matching items, antique things, etc. They just have to have specific things: warm water, soap, paper towels, and a bucket to catch the water in. They're not for your customers, though. They're for you and anyone else working in your booth who are handing food to customers. Okay, now that we've got those basics covered, let's move on. Blending in to stand out. A uniform-looking market gives the market a comfortable vibe. Many markets require vendors to have specific items when it comes to the vendor's booth. White tents, at least one table and a banner are normal requirements. Why a white tent? If everyone has the same color tent, the market looks like a unified effort instead of a hodgepodge of people selling garage sale or yard sale type items. This overall look is important when trying to attract people to the market. And that's what you want, right? More people at the market. Be sure to line your tent up and make a straight row. This helps keep traffic flowing and moving instead of having to step around booths that stick out or walk by booths that are set back from their neighbors. Line up straight and close to one another. Backdrop. While a banner is usually required at a farmer's market, there are ways to use the sides of your space and even the posts of your tent as part of the stage you're setting. Using fabrics that tie into your brand colors can be used as the walls of your space, but remember they won't replace the side panels that came with the tent if you're wanting to block off a little wind. You can even have your banner printed on these side panels, and they're especially made for tents, and they're pretty cool. Wrapping fabric around tent legs and adding signs gives your booth more color and provides you with a little more opportunity to let shoppers know what's inside. Other ideas are handmade banners and netting to hang items in. Flooring. Since many farmers markets are held in parking lots, putting a floor down can be tricky. You don't want to even put a second hand rug down in a grease spot, nor do you want something heavy to carry around or thick, something to trip on. Lighting can come into play for evening and nighttime markets, and having access to power or not will be the deciding factor in what kind of lighting is needed and what works for the overall look and feel of your booth. There's great battery-powered lights on Amazon, and they're easy to use, and they give off enough light for an evening event. Generators can be loud and heavy, but if you need it, you need it. Just keep your neighbors in mind when it comes to noise and fumes. Transporting and showcasing, in my opinion, should be one and the same. You need boxes to carry your products to and from your farm, your kitchen, or office to the market. Give them two jobs, one to carry and the other to lift. Create your displays using these boxes. And even if your boxes don't match, but they work really well for transporting, using them for a display is as easy as covering them with a cloth that matches the overall look and feel of your brand. Tablecloths, runners, sheets, and even scraps of fabric can work, but remember, keep it simple and easy, and that's usually the best. Booth layout. How you position tables inside your booth depends on a few things. How many products you have for sale, the size of the products, if you're offering samples or eat now food items. Someone selling produce probably wants their products sitting in as much shade as possible, so their products might make a U shape within their tent, allowing shoppers to step inside their booth to pick their products. And they might have their register and chair at the end of a table. Someone selling body care items might stack one table high with product in the middle of their booth, creating space under the canopy to shop and out of the aisle where people are walking, and space behind the table for personal items and a cash box. A vendor with consumables like cheese or oils or sauces might put their table a little closer to the front in order to accommodate a cooler and their hand washing station in the back, but still provide shoppers with the ability to step inside and out of the walkway to taste the products offered. Sketch it out, play with it. Pile it high and watch it fly. Having your items closer to the shopper's eye level has a better appeal than items a shopper has to lean over to see. Start by lifting your tables. We recommend 6-inch risers that lifts your entire display space, making it easier for you to merchandise your products and your customers to shop. Use the boxes you carried your items to market in to display them to shoppers. We'll talk more about this in the merchandising project, but remember the saying, pile it high and watch it fly. This also applies to your seat. You're going to want a chair for your booth. Let's face it, all those hours on your feet, you're going to need a break. Having a lower sitting chair means a couple of things. Getting in and out of it can become a chore, and you nearly disappear behind your displays. Consider purchasing a bar height stool or a director's chair for seating inside your booth. They're easier to get in and out of, and you'll be visible to people passing by your booth, and your feet will thank you at the end of the day. We recommend something similar to this chair pictured here. It's sturdy, folds, is lightweight, and the right height. Signage. Your signs need to tell people who you are, where you're from, what you're selling, and how it will benefit the shopper who buys it. Give details and explain why your items are the best, freshest, most unique. Put your prices out there. People want to know. Colors versus readability. While signs in all kinds of colors are fun and eye-catching, if the eye can't read it once it's there, it moves on. Make your headlines or titles in the big colors and then do the descriptions in white and use a simple font or style. Keep your signs uniform, meaning make it look like they all kind of belong together. Hand-drawn is beautiful. As a chalkboard artist, I will tell you a hand-drawn sign is a farmer's market must-have. But remember, hand-drawn chalkboard or chalk ink signs are not permanent and will require a little extra bit of care if they're going to last a full season. Be sure to laminate photos, descriptions, or everything you have printed on paper that you're using in your display to keep them clean, free from most water damage, and they'll last longer too. Having a sign for your trash bin is nice. Make sure your signs are sturdy and portable and ask yourself, will they last through the market season without falling apart or needing to be repainted, chalked, or inked? Are you able to carry them from your car to your booth space, and do they fit into the vehicle you're going to use to transport your business? Invest in and take care of the signs you use for a booth. They're your number one at the market marketing tool. See the difference? Handwritten signs are great if you have great handwriting. It's super easy to create a professional, neat, and completely personalized flyer using online software like Canva. Printing and laminating can be done at your local office supply store. And you can use this for your newsletter or even your social media too. Let your fans know about special prices you have going on when you're at the market. People come to a farmer's market for the food. Samples are a big reason people shop at a farmer's market. The ability to try before they buy and meet the grower or the artisan is what makes a farmer's market different from the grocery store. Be sure to follow your local food handling laws. Many states require a food handler's license, which is relatively easy to obtain and is worth the small time and monetary investment. Offer your products in a way so shoppers can feed themselves or possibly share the item. Give it to them on a toothpick, in a small cup, or on a small napkin. Even using paper towels cut into small squares is better than gooing up their fingers with a piece of cheese. And be sure to provide them a place to dispose of their trash. What's your sales pitch? First, let me tell you, no one likes being yelled at. So the first rule as a farmer's market vendor is don't yell at people. Telling people to get over here and try this doesn't sound as nice as lemon cucumbers here, try one, free samples. Think of your sales pitch as the old elevator pitch boiled down to a few words. Goat milk cheese here, we have samples, or try my wife's delicious pickles while she's not looking might even create a sense of urgency. Practice and get used to saying out loud and with a smile on your face. A quick side note here. Your products aren't the only thing showing, but they should be. Keep personal items, phones included, trash, food, and other distractions out of the public eye. You wouldn't expect a sales clerk at the mall to be talking on their phone or eating lunch while working, at least we hope not, right? Have a trash bin available for your customers, especially when offering a taste of your products that comes with a spoon, a napkin, or a cup. This is your business space for a day. Be proud of it. Remember this, you are not a bargain store, but you're always willing to make a deal. Stick to your prices, only offering discounts when a customer is purchasing more than one or two items. There are many options now to handle money transactions at a farmer's market. Taking cash presents the opportunity to waive the tax, saving the customer a little money, but taking credit cards or debit cards is now as easy as signing up for a service and using their usually free card reader. But do your research. While the service might seem the same between providers, Their fees and service charges can vary, eating into your profits. Practice makes perfect. This isn't as bad as it sounds, and it will make a big difference come market day. New and seasoned vendors should do at least one practice run of their booth per season. While shoppers find the familiar comforting, as people, we all enjoy something new. For the new vendor, it is especially important to practice logistics. How will all of the things you're taking to market fit into boxes, into your car? Are you able to carry, open, and set up everything, including the tent, by yourself, or do you need help? How much help? Should you bring a friend or a spouse, or is it something a fellow vendor or even a market volunteer can help you with quickly and easily? But remember, don't take too much of their time. They're trying to help others or possibly set up or take down their own booth. And be sure to reciprocate any help you receive. Setting up your booth in your living room, front or backyard or the garage, we recommend practicing with the tent outside, will give you spatial perspective of how big or small that vendor booth space really is. Gathering contacts. Even if people don't buy your product now, collect their email address for later. You can let them know where you'll be, new product announcements, subscriber-only specials for the off-season, or in between markets. Have a nice looking email sign-up sheet, a pen, and a stable place for them to write. Remember this, a list of just 2,000 fans can create a six-figure income when used correctly. Neighbors at the market. Be a good neighbor. Every farmer's market is a two-way opportunity for vendors. Vendors help the market by participating, and the market helps them by bringing in customers. As a vendor, your job is to show up and create a good environment, not just around your stall, but for the market in general. You can contribute to the overall market success by being a good neighbor. Kids at the market. This is a tough one. As a parent, it can be hard to find a sitter, and it can be tempting to take your little one with you to work. But a farmer's market isn't a regular business. Is your child old enough to entertain themselves quietly for hours on end in a tiny space? Does the market owner even allow children in vendor booths? But also think of this. You have a potential customer at your booth and you're going over your product or service as best you can while your 3-year-old is going into a meltdown for any number of reasons. His toy broke, his battery died, he had an accident, he needs to go, he bumped his head. In other words, he needs your attention now. If you were standing on the other side of your table, how would you respond? Most people will walk away, smiling as they go, saying they'll be back, but chances are they won't. If this is going to be your serious business, take it seriously and enlist childcare help. It might take some juggling through the long market season, and you might even have days when you have no choice but to take them with you. But being able to focus on business when there's opportunity is what you're there for. The vendor next to you is not your babysitter, and neither is the market manager. So, are you ready for all this? Remember, you are what makes your brand special. Be ready to talk with people, smile, say hello, and be your amazing self. This is your business. We've covered a lot of stuff in this module. The biggest takeaway I want you to remember is blend in, match, line up, stand out. It's your business inside that 10 by 10 space for the rest of the day. Own it. Pile it high and watch it fly. Create eye-catching and informative signs. Develop a catchy saying and offer great samples. Now you're ready to make some money. But no matter what, remember this. You've made the commitment to be at the market. You might as well enjoy it. Say it with me now. I made the commitment to be here. I'm going to enjoy and make the most of it. Let that be your mantra. Even if a market is slow, meaning there's little to no traffic, doesn't make it a waste of your time. Here's your chance to talk to the other vendors about all kinds of things, from their product to how they got started, the things they've done, the markets they've participated in, all working to grow their business. You never know what you might learn when talking to someone, and not just the seasoned vendors. A newbie might have a completely different perspective of something you've never thought of. And Being a downer doesn't do anybody any good, not you or your fellow vendors. Be the sunshine even if it's raining. Stay positive. This is your business. Okay, we're done. Your homework. Be sure to practice setting up, saying your pitch out loud, and practice tearing down and packing your business into your vehicle. Next up, merchandising.